Hello, everyone. It's been a while since I've done one of these. Yeah. So welcome. This here is an Xbox One S. $60-some on eBay. And the problem that's wrong with it is that it says that it won't start up. Well, technically it starts up for a split second. But then it doesn't, that's it. It goes, starts up, and that's it. Nothing. Nothing else. So, I've already taken this thing apart beforehand to figure out what I would need to buy to fix it. And what I've done is, well, when I turn it on, the fan doesn't work. The fan doesn't start it up at all. So, my way of repairing things is find the thing that's like not working and replace it first, then move on from there. So, the fan wouldn't even like start to spin up at all. So obviously, got a new Xbox One S fan. I could have like jury-rigged something together, but I'd rather get the original fan for it. And yeah, so I'll show you guys what exactly it does when you try to start it up. Plug the power cord in and plug that in. Alright, so makes the noise and nothing. Sometimes the light will come on, but if you like, I'll hold it. It's like no fan noise at all when it comes to the mic. But yeah, the power button works, makes a noise, that's it. And that button works as well. So, a couple things we're going to do for this, or this video is going to consist of multiple parts, or not multiple parts, multiple aspects of the game, of the thing, of repairing this. First thing is going to be a general teardown of the Xbox One S, and then putting it back together as well. And the next thing is going to be obviously installing this. So, when I got this console, it's kind of dinged up, has this big old scratch right there, has some things dropped, which might explain, like someone dropped it, so might explain why it doesn't work anymore. And this was already like this when I got it. So someone tried to open it up, probably failed or didn't have the right screwdriver for it, and also didn't do anything inside because the screws were still really tight. And the final thing that's wrong with it is that it's missing the HDMI in port, which doesn't bug me as much. I'll probably have to like cover that hole eventually because that leads directly to the motherboard. But I don't have no use for that. But it's odd that it's missing, so probably someone like took it apart and just took that off, I guess. I don't know. But first things we're gonna do to take the Xbox One S apart, I'm going to put on a flathead screw head. You could use a spudger as be a heavy duty one because it's kind of tough. So first things first, we're going to start right along the corner. And what we're going to be doing is you see this line right here. Also, like I said, when I try to take it apart, I don't know if you can see the marks on it. Turn it this way. Along the edge where they're trying to pry it apart. But yeah, first you really want to get the edge up first, and then work your way along. And yes, it's going to crack quite a bit because there are plastic tabs that are holding this down. Don't be too frightened. Remember, all the cracking is natural, I swear. Although you can possibly break the tabs when you do this. But all in all, it is kind of these consoles are actually relatively simple to take apart. Obviously, you pull this apart, get this popped out, and deal with it pop back into place. But yeah, this thing's only held on by the tabs. A couple of tabs are along here, and yeah, set that aside. And here we have the main unit. And what you're going to need to do to take this apart, you're going to need a Torx head screwdriver. Looks like that. I'll show the screws. And first off, the thing I like that Microsoft did with the Xbox One S is they color-coded the screws, but they also put little engraving numbers on the plate. So we're going to start out with the F screws, which are the green ones, which really simple. Boom. They're just really long. And this is what the screw head looks like. If it will focus. Just so you know. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. And the other screws that are on this top board hold everything else into place, like the disk drive, the hard drive, all that fun jazz. So we're gonna have to take those all apart as well, or take those all out as well. But you see how fast these screws actually come undone. So now that we're doing this and everything, let's address the actual why of the video. Why am I doing this with an Xbox One S instead of old consoles and whatnot? Well, simple. It's $60. And also own an Xbox One S, so the fan was roughly $20 to get here from China, because finding a legit one in the US is apparently really hard, and eBay is the only place you can find them. So, Xbox One S, I believe this was a terabyte model for roughly $80. That's a pretty good deal if I can get it to work. So that's all I'm hoping for, is that it's just the fan doesn't want to work correctly, and I don't have to try to resolder things, because I'll have to go get my voltmeter and find out where things are shorted. That's probably the next thing that I have to check. So we're going to go ahead and take these neck screws out, which these are all labeled C on the board, just so you know. Well, correction. A few are labeled C, a few are labeled B. No A's apparently. Oh, these are the A's, okay. I like how they skipped a whole bunch of letters in the alphabet. Alright. Fast forward time. Okay, now that all those ones are out, this is just a smaller hex screw. Torx screw, I mean, apologies. And these parts are for the hard drive. Hard drive brackets, I should say. And they're all different. But surprisingly, this is all the screws that it takes to actually take apart the console. Microsoft really streamlined the process here. But yeah, they're all different. Okay, so normally, if you follow any guide or anything, they'll tell you to take this out of the thing first before to remove all the screws. But just in an effort to streamline the process, we're not going to do that. So you want to pop these out slightly and lift up like that to get this off of the board. Everything's going to kind of fall out. Actually, I should probably turn it over. I'm going to pull the top part off, set that aside, put this down on the ground on this, and pull that metal part off. And there's the innards of the Xbox One S. So since everything's already kind of pulled off, you just got to lift up ever so slightly on a lot of things. And I got to turn this around so I can actually see, because there's a ribbon cable on one of these things. I think we'll start out. Do the hard drive. I have to do the hard drive first. And pull that up, because everything else under here has little has two of these. Boom. What size is this? It does not say. Set that aside. Don't have to pull this that hookup out to get the one of two hookups. This one and the other one's right there to get the Blu-ray player out. And then we have the power supply, which pops up as well, like so. And we're going to pull this part out, if I can get a good angle at it, so that everyone else can see. There we go. Put a little clip on there, get that out. And now we're down to like the very basis of the things. Now, next part we have to get undone. Or actually, I have to pull the rest of the stuff out apart first before we can actually get down to the motherboard part. But that's the first part of the essential teardown. This little clamp right here. This little metal thing right here. We gotta get this off without actually damaging everything. It's alright. I need pliers. It's alright if you... or clippers, not clippers. Tweezers is the word I'm looking for. Needle nose tweezers. It's okay if you bend this part, because this part's like just there to hold the board and the backing together. So that's okay if you do bend it. Like so. Don't lose that. Or do, it's up to you. It's your console, you do what you want with it. One final thing to note before you actually do anything, I pull it up, is get these last 4 screws out of there. I'm running out of space to put these. Because this is the last part that holds the board in. And this is just the power switch and the ejector switch, more or less. Do that. Pop that out. Set that aside. And then you continually lie, because there's still one more thing to do, and that's these ones right here. And the reason why I'm not like trying to pull this thing off, by the way, is because it's like riveted on there and it's a bit delicate. I don't feel like accidentally breaking that and then having to like deal with that. Because if this all goes well and I can actually use this Xbox One, I'll be very happy. Like very happy indeed. Because I don't, like I said, I don't own an Xbox One. I still have like all my 360 games, and a lot of them are backwards compatible, so they can get all that beautiful upscaling junk. Okay. Just pull that one out as well, set that aside. You just pull you right out. And there's the final shell. Set you off to the side, and we are down to the strict motherboard of the console. Looks nice, I know. Now, to get the this part off, I'm going to go back to here. Set this down. And to get this off, you have to, there's like these little clips on the board that you have to pull apart, or pull this out of. I won't lie, these are kind of like difficult to get undone. Once you get a few undone, it kind of gets a little bit easier. Come on. Just need you to get off there. Oh, well. Oh, never mind. Oh, there we go. And that comes off like that. Okay. I'm just going to pull you over to the side and pull, show you exactly what I'm doing here. Pull this part out. Boom. Okay, and looking at that, there's like thermal paste. Oh, thermal paste is okay. We're gonna clean that up and apply some new ones because it's kind of icky and all over the place. I think that's also what this stuff is along the board and whatnot. We're gonna set that aside for right now because wow, it's kind of damaged. It'll still work. We need to get this off the fan off the heatsink, which theoretically you could do this while it's not fully apart, but I wanted to show like how to actually fully disassemble it. So first part is done. Our first part of the video, I guess, yeah, part fits. And it should pop right off. Like so, and I gotta remember, cord goes on these loops near the loops in the bottom. All right, so set that aside. There we have the heatsink. That's fully disassembled Xbox One S. So I'm gonna put you down. I'm gonna take the quote-unquote new one and get this set up. So my recording goes down the bottom part. Oh, it's actually bent slightly too. I don't know if that's actually in the design or what, but So let's just get this on there somehow and then realize that all this was for nothing because that's not what's wrong with the thing. Oh, that was the actual case. Usually is. I haven't had very much luck with like the full-on repairing things in the past few videos. And there we go. Pop back into place. All right. Oh. That side's not all the way on. I don't think it's going to affect anything because it's still solidly on there. We're going to set you aside. We're going to take a look at the actual board. See if we notice anything at all. What's wrong with it? I don't think there's anything wrong with the board at all. So that's kind of dirty like around this area, but other than that, yeah. So, out of the way. Do our thing, clean it up, reassemble it, and I guess we're probably gonna find out it doesn't work anymore. All the work for nothing, like how it usually is. All right, so I wonder if that QR code can actually use that for anything. If you guys want to like try it out for me, knock your stuff out. But now, after you clean that, you have to clean the heatsink as well before you apply new thermal paste. Same process, IPA. You can actually use a paper towel for this. My paper towels are just kind of not near me right now. Okay, now that's all cleaned up. We're going to take a quick look at the connector for the fan as well. Looks okay. So now we're going to reattach everything, or do everything now. First things first, a little bit of thermal paste. Put a rough pea size on the very center. You can spread it out. You don't really need to, in a sense. I'm just going to take make sure the cord for this is down. We're actually going to plug it in and then reset it. All right, after that's firmly plugged in, Just going to take you, lift you up from the bottom, and then set you in there. There it goes. Flip you over. And start reassembling. I don't think if this has like an actual way to go on, so just know it's not gonna like you. There we go. Okay. Now that that's all applied, I'm going to have to put everything away and do a little speed up of me putting it mostly back together just to test out and make sure it works. It works, hopefully. Okay. Take you. You're all set. And begin the montage. So something I noticed really slightly. It's kind of looks like grime on there. I don't know if exactly that is grime or not. But either way, it's on a USB port, so I don't know how that would affect the rest of the console. So I'm gonna actually clean that up really quick from like right here, and just for peace of mind, I guess you could say. So for this one, we're going to use IPA again. We're going to use toothbrush instead, just to see if this will come up, or I'm just like being annoyingly cautious with everything. Probably was nothing, but you never know. Always good to double check. But just a few more things we have to put back together to actually be able to test it out. So there's that. Okay, we now have it together enough to actually try it. So, the moment of truth that I'm hoping it will work straight up. Just take you. Make sure the plug's in. All right, here we go. Of course. It could never be that easy now, could it? Oh well, I gave it the old college try. I tried my best and failed. Oh wait. Fan? Spin. Start spinning, fan. Damn it. Okay. Come on, spin. Spin, dang you. Oh. Oh. Ah! 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 It worked. Do I know how exactly how happy that just made me? Oh, it works. Oh man. I was not expecting that. Now, it may work now. Turn you off. Put it back together, and hopefully it actually does still work. I said turn off. Please. There it goes. Oh, I'm so happy right now. All right. Let's finish putting it back together, and hopefully it'll still work when I'm finished with that. Alright, so I ended up getting everything all set up to actually you know, capture it and see if everything worked. But unfortunately, it goes back to doing this. So yeah, if you listen closely, I don't know if this Michael will be able to pick it up or not. The fan does start to spin up ever so slightly, but it doesn't actually work. So that's something with the motherboard. I don't know exactly how to repair that, but at least you guys got all nice a nice breakdown of it. But I almost did right. And yeah, so unfortunately that does suck that this doesn't want to actually work. So close. But what you gonna do? You know, I knew the risk when I bought it, that $60 for an Xbox One S that may or may not work. Yeah, the fan is starting to move again, so it's something on the motherboard that needs diagnosed and possibly fixed. So that's going to be an entirely separate video because I've been working for a little bit too long on this. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you at least learned how to take apart an Xbox One S. And I will see you guys in the next video when I do. Bye guys.